Have you ever noticed that the moment you stop explaining yourself, stop chasing, and finally say, enough, everything changes? That's the moment many controlling personalities fear the most. Because when their usual tactics stop working, the carefully crafted image they've built can begin to crack. And what happens next often reveals more than they ever intended. For a long time, they may seem confident, charming, and completely in control. But that confidence often depends on one thing: keeping control over the relationship. The moment you begin setting healthy boundaries, speaking your truth, or refusing to accept manipulation, the dynamic shifts. Instead of calm conversations, you may notice sudden anger that feels completely out of proportion. Or maybe it's the opposite: cold silence designed to make you question yourself. Different people respond differently, but the goal is often the same: to pull you back into the old pattern where they held all the power. You may suddenly find yourself blamed for problems you didn't create. Accusations replace accountability. Facts become twisted. Conversations seem to change overnight until you start wondering if your own memory can be trusted. That's exactly why staying grounded in reality becomes so important. Sometimes they don't attack directly. Instead, they play the victim, hoping guilt will accomplish what control no longer can. Others may hear a completely different version of the story, leaving you confused about how everything became your fault. Protecting the image often becomes more important than protecting the relationship itself. If anger doesn't work, charm may suddenly return. Unexpected apologies, compliments, promises to change, or overwhelming affection can feel convincing. But lasting change isn't measured by emotional words. It's measured by consistent actions over time. You may also notice attempts to make you jealous, dramatic displays of success, or an urgent need to prove they're happier than ever. On the surface, it looks like confidence, but constant performance often hides deep insecurity. As your confidence grows, your independence may become their greatest challenge. Healthy relationships celebrate your growth. Controlling relationships often feel threatened by it. That's why your healing can become something they struggle to accept. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because you're no longer depending on their approval. Perhaps the biggest surprise is this: the stronger your boundaries become, the less power manipulation has over you. You stop reacting to every accusation. You stop defending yourself against every false story. You stop trying to convince someone determined not to understand. That doesn't mean every situation will look the same, and not every person will respond in identical ways. But one pattern appears again and again in unhealthy dynamics. When control fades, desperation often grows louder. The greatest shift doesn't happen inside them. It happens inside you. The moment you realize you don't need to win every argument, prove every truth, or seek validation from someone unwilling to give it, you begin reclaiming your peace. Their reactions may still be unpredictable, but your response becomes steady. Real strength isn't about defeating another person. It's about protecting your peace, trusting your instincts, and refusing to abandon yourself just to keep someone else comfortable. And that's the part many people never expect. When you finally stop playing the game, the illusion loses its power. What once felt overwhelming becomes easier to recognize. Clarity replaces confusion. Confidence replaces fear. And the control they depended on slowly disappears because you no longer hand it to them. If this message helped you see these patterns more clearly, let us know in the comments. Your story may encourage someone who's quietly going through the same thing. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay with TF for more insights that help you recognize unhealthy dynamics, strengthen your mindset, and move forward with confidence. This video is created for educational and awareness purposes and reflects common behavioral patterns discussed in psychology. It is not intended to diagnose, label, or replace professional mental health guidance. Every individual and every relationship is unique.